In this video, we are going to talk about 10 critical mistakes related to coffee that everyone over the age of 60 should be aware of. At first glance, these mistakes might not seem serious. However, they are often the underlying cause of declining well-being, high blood pressure, insomnia, anxiety, fatigue, issues with the heart and blood vessels, and even problems with the hormonal system. You will learn what happens to the body when coffee is consumed incorrectly in older age and how to avoid these consequences. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. Mistake number 1, combining coffee with medications. Caffeine can interfere with how the body absorbs certain medications, increase the risk of side effects, and disrupt how the medication works. This is especially true for medications used to treat thyroid conditions, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, and diabetes. According to the United States National Institutes of Health, coffee can reduce the absorption of levothyroxine by 58%. Endocrinologists at a university clinic in Illinois described a common scenario they often see in their practice. A 67-year-old woman who had been taking levothyroxine for many years to manage hypothyroidism came in complaining that her symptoms had returned. She was experiencing fatigue, weight gain, hair loss, and dry skin, even though she was taking her medication regularly. Blood tests confirmed a drop in thyroxine levels and an increase in thyroid-stimulating hormone, indicating that the treatment was no longer effective. A closer conversation revealed a crucial detail. Each morning, the woman took her medication and immediately drank coffee with milk. The endocrinologist explained to her that coffee, especially when combined with milk, significantly reduces the absorption of levothyroxine in the intestines. She was advised to take her medication with plain water at room temperature and to wait at least 1 hour before drinking coffee. 3 months later, her lab results showed that her hormone levels had returned to normal, and after another 3 months, all of her hypothyroid symptoms had completely disappeared. To help medications work properly and avoid unexpected complications, they should always be taken with water at room temperature. Coffee should be postponed for at least 1 hour after taking any medication. This simple adjustment can make a significant difference in how well your treatments work. Mistake number 2, choosing cheap instant coffee with additives. This is probably one of the most underestimated yet serious mistakes. Many older adults in the United States tend to buy instant coffee from supermarkets because it is fast, inexpensive, and convenient. However, very few people actually read the ingredient list. In low-cost brands, the product often contains not just coffee beans, but also flavorings, synthetic stabilizers, fillers, and sometimes even small amounts of oil to give the drink a fuller texture. These ingredients are not only unnecessary, they can also be harmful to your metabolism, liver, and blood vessels. A study conducted by Columbia University in the year 2023 found that older adults who consumed instant coffee with additives on a daily basis had 21% higher levels of systemic inflammation markers. These findings were based on blood test data from over 12,000 Americans between the ages of 60 and 80. Medical practice confirms these results. A gastroenterologist in Seattle shared the case of a 72-year-old patient who came in with complaints of occasional pain in the upper right abdomen and nausea after meals. A full medical examination did not show any serious liver or gallbladder issues. However, after a detailed review of the patient's daily habits, it was revealed that he drank cheap instant coffee with artificial flavorings every day. That product included various additives, including synthetic stabilizers and sweeteners. Following the doctor's advice, the patient switched to natural ground coffee made from whole beans without any additives. Within 2 weeks, his symptoms significantly improved, and his liver enzyme levels, which had been slightly elevated, returned to normal. Natural ground coffee made from whole beans and prepared at home is the only safe option. It may not be the cheapest, but your health is far more valuable. Even if you only drink 1 cup per day, make sure it is high quality. Mistake number 3, drinking too much coffee throughout the day. For decades, doctors have believed that coffee, when consumed in moderation, can offer health benefits. However, the definition of moderation changes with age. After the age of 60, the liver and kidneys, which are responsible for processing and eliminating caffeine, begin to function more slowly. As a result, the body holds on to the stimulant longer, and when caffeine builds up, it can lead to fatigue, anxiety, spikes in blood pressure, and irregular heart rhythms. A study conducted by Brown University in the year 2023 found that older adults who consumed more than 300 milligrams of caffeine per day, which is roughly equivalent to 3 standard cups of coffee, had nearly double the risk of developing atrial fibrillation. A cardiologist in Arizona shared a case involving a 69-year-old patient who had a long-standing habit of drinking 5 to 6 cups of strong coffee each day. Because he had consumed large amounts of coffee his entire life, he considered it normal and did not connect it to his recent symptoms: irregular heartbeat, dizziness, and hand tremors. An electrocardiogram revealed abnormalities in his heart rhythm. After carefully reviewing the patient's lifestyle and health history, the cardiologist advised cutting back to 2 cups of coffee per day. Within a month, the patient's heart rhythm stabilized and his other symptoms disappeared. After the age of 60, a safe amount of coffee is considered to be no more than 2 cups per day, with each cup containing 240 milliliters. It is also important to keep in mind that the strength of coffee can vary. The darker the roast and the finer the grind, the higher the caffeine concentration. In some cases, even 1 strong cup can be equivalent to 2 standard servings. Mistake number 4, ignoring warning signs from the body. Many older adults do not connect symptoms like anxiety, trembling, a rapid heartbeat, or dizziness with their coffee consumption. Instead, they often blame these issues on aging, blood pressure, or changes in the weather. However, as we get older, the body becomes more sensitive to caffeine. A study from the University of North Carolina found that nearly 1/3 of people over the age of 60 experience side effects from even moderate amounts of caffeine, despite having no such symptoms when they were younger. One case from Montana clearly illustrates this. A 65-year-old man began experiencing increased anxiety and restlessness, especially in the morning. His doctor prescribed mild calming medications, but they did not bring much relief. During a detailed review of his daily routine, a psychiatrist noticed that the man started every morning with 2 large cups of strong coffee. He always made it using a double portion of ground coffee beans. As an experiment, the doctor suggested cutting out coffee entirely for 1 week. The results were remarkable. Within 5 days, the man reported that his anxiety had decreased by about 70%. After 10 days, he was able to stop taking the calming medications altogether. If you notice that coffee seems to trigger trembling, nervousness, or sudden spikes in blood pressure, it is likely not just a coincidence. These are signals from your body that your sensitivity to caffeine may have changed. Even if you have enjoyed coffee your entire life without any issues, by the time you reach 65, your body may respond to it differently. Sometimes, simply taking a break from coffee for a week can reveal just how much it is affecting your well-being. Mistake number 5, drinking coffee in the afternoon. After the age of 60, the body processes caffeine differently. Research from Tufts University has shown that in older adults, caffeine can remain in the bloodstream for up to 10 hours. Because of this, drinking coffee after 3 in the afternoon can lead not only to trouble falling asleep, but also to disruptions in the deep stages of sleep, the phases when the body does most of its recovery. Neurologists frequently encounter cases like this. One example involves a 73-year-old woman from Ohio who consulted a sleep specialist. She complained of constant fatigue and anxiety, even though she went to bed on time and, according to her, slept at least 7 to 8 hours each night. After carefully reviewing her daily habits, the doctor identified an unexpected cause. The woman had a routine of drinking coffee around 4 in the afternoon to stay alert in the evening and avoid dozing off in front of the television. A sleep quality study revealed that her sleep was shallow, with frequent micro-awakenings and not enough time spent in the deep sleep phase. The doctor recommended eliminating afternoon coffee. 10 days later, a follow-up sleep study confirmed a significant improvement in her sleep structure, and the woman reported feeling noticeably more rested. For people over the age of 60, the ideal time to drink coffee is between 9 in the morning and 11:30 in the morning. After lunchtime, caffeine begins to interfere with the body's natural preparation for sleep. It is better to replace coffee in the afternoon with lemon water or caffeine-free tea. This small change can make it easier to fall asleep and wake up feeling truly refreshed. Mistake number 6, drinking coffee immediately after a meal. Coffee can interfere with the absorption of important nutrients like iron and calcium from food. This becomes especially important after the age of 60, when the body naturally is to experience a decline in these essential minerals. A study from Indiana University found that drinking coffee within 30 minutes after eating reduces iron absorption by 39% and calcium absorption by 21%. A gastroenterologist from a clinic in Minnesota shared a notable case. A 71-year-old woman was struggling with iron deficiency anemia, even though she followed a diet rich in iron and was taking prescribed iron supplements. Despite ongoing treatment, her test results showed only slight improvement. After a careful review of her daily habits, it was discovered that she had a long-standing routine of drinking a large cup of coffee right after every meal. Once the doctor explained how coffee affects the body's ability to absorb iron, she agreed to change her routine and began waiting at least 1 hour after meals before drinking coffee. 2 months later, follow-up blood work showed a significant increase in her hemoglobin and ferritin levels, indicators of the body's iron stores. After 4 months, her anemia had been fully managed. It is best to wait at least 45 minutes after a meal before having coffee. This gives your body a chance to absorb the valuable nutrients from your food. It is especially important after meals that are rich in iron and calcium, such as those containing meat, leafy green vegetables, or dairy products. Mistake number 7, not drinking water alongside coffee. Caffeine acts as a mild diuretic, meaning it increases the amount of fluid the body loses. In older adults, this can quickly lead to dehydration. According to the United States National Institute on Aging, 1/3 of hospital admissions in people over the age of 65 are linked to dehydration. What makes this issue even more serious is that 80% of those affected do not actually feel thirsty, because the sensitivity of their thirst receptors has already diminished with age. There is a well-documented case from the practice of a nephrologist in Texas. A 74-year-old woman was referred to him with complaints of frequent headaches, constant fatigue, and dizziness. Lab tests revealed elevated levels of creatinine and urea, which indicated impaired kidney function. During a detailed interview, it became clear that the woman drank about 4 cups of strong coffee every day, but barely consumed plain water. She believed she was getting enough fluids from coffee and other beverages. An ultrasound examination of her kidneys revealed signs of chronic dehydration. The doctor created a hydration plan for her, including a simple rule: for every cup of coffee, drink 1 full glass of water. After just 1 week, the patient reported fewer headaches and increased energy. 1 month later, follow-up lab tests showed an improvement in her kidney function. Even if you do not feel thirsty, your body still needs water. The best approach is to drink a glass of plain water after each cup of coffee, especially in the morning. This simple habit allows you to enjoy your coffee without the risks that come with dehydration. Mistake number 8, drinking coffee on an empty stomach. As we age, the stomach becomes more sensitive to acids. Coffee, especially black coffee, stimulates the production of stomach acid. A study from Johns Hopkins University found that in people over the age of 60, regularly drinking coffee on an empty stomach nearly doubles the risk of developing gastritis. An experienced gastroenterologist from a medical center in New Mexico shared the case of a 66-year-old man who came in with classic complaints: chronic heartburn, discomfort, and a heavy feeling in the upper abdomen after eating. An endoscopic exam revealed erosive gastritis along with signs of reflux esophagitis. During the consultation, it became clear that for more than 12 years, the very first thing the patient did after waking up was drink a large cup of black coffee on an empty stomach, waiting 30 to 40 minutes before having breakfast. The doctor explained how coffee stimulates stomach acid production and recommended reversing the order. Eat a light breakfast first, then have coffee about 30 minutes later. After just 3 weeks of following this new routine, a follow-up endoscopy showed significant improvement in the stomach lining, and the patient reported that his digestive symptoms had almost completely disappeared. Coffee is much easier on the body when the stomach is already protected by food. A light breakfast, like oatmeal, an omelet, or even a banana with a slice of bread, can make a big difference. This simple order, food first, coffee after, can help prevent irritation and allow you to enjoy your favorite drink without discomfort. Mistake number 9, adding sugar, cream, and flavorings to coffee. Many older adults prefer their coffee on the sweeter, richer side. They often add flavored creamers, caramel syrup, and sometimes even ice cream. But according to research from the University of Michigan, regularly drinking sweetened coffee beverages after the age of 60 increases the risk of developing metabolic syndrome by nearly 30%. That includes blood sugar spikes, weight gain, fatigue, and elevated blood pressure. One striking case was published in a medical journal, shared by an endocrinologist from California. A 70-year-old woman came in for a routine checkup, and her fasting blood glucose was measured at 143 milligrams per deciliter, an indicator of a pre-diabetic condition. She was surprised by the result, as she believed she led a fairly healthy lifestyle. During a detailed conversation about her eating habits, it turned out she drank 3 cups of coffee each day, and in each one, she added store-bought vanilla creamer and sugar. A quick calculation showed that her coffee alone was giving her around 35 grams of sugar daily. Following the doctor's advice, she gradually switched to black coffee with a small amount of cinnamon, known to help stabilize blood sugar. After 6 weeks, a follow-up test showed her fasting glucose level had dropped to 101 milligrams per deciliter without any other changes to her diet or lifestyle. When you eliminate sugar and cream, coffee stops being a dessert and returns to its natural health benefits. If the flavor is too strong, you can soften it with cinnamon, nutmeg, or unsweetened almond milk. These natural additions are not only safe, but also add a pleasant aroma without harming your health. Mistake number 10, drinking coffee that is too hot, the most dangerous mistake of all. Many Americans are used to starting their mornings with a steaming hot cup of strong coffee. This habit has been built over decades, but as we age, the body's ability to repair tissue damage, especially in the lining of the esophagus, slows down. According to the Harvard School of Public Health, regularly consuming beverages hotter than 65 degrees Celsius, 149 degrees Fahrenheit, can cause microscopic injuries to the esophageal lining. Over time, these small injuries can lead to chronic inflammation. That is what makes this particular mistake the most dangerous of all. The damage builds up silently over the years and often goes unnoticed until serious complications appear. The symptoms tend to develop subtly. One example is a 68-year-old man from Tennessee who had a long-standing habit of drinking coffee immediately after brewing it, without letting it cool down. Freshly brewed coffee typically reaches a temperature of 85 to 90 degrees Celsius, 185 to 195 degrees Fahrenheit. He paid little attention to the occasional burning sensation when swallowing, until he began experiencing voice changes and a feeling of tightness in his throat. A gastroenterologist diagnosed him with chronic esophagitis caused by repeated exposure to high temperatures. Letting your coffee cool, even just to 55 degrees Celsius, 131 degrees Fahrenheit, helps protect the sensitive lining of the esophagus and also brings out a smoother, fuller flavor. Waiting 5 minutes is a small step that can prevent weeks of discomfort and inflammation. This simple habit not only protects your health, but also allows you to better enjoy the true taste of coffee. If you recognized yourself in even one of these 10 habits, do not worry. Just take a moment to rethink how you drink your coffee. Sometimes, a single small change can make a noticeable difference in just a few days. If you have any questions or thoughts to share, feel free to leave a comment. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.